Yeah, probably looking at it, a tale of two teams. We did everything right against Western Michigan, who's a good team, conference champion team, albeit the Mid-American Conference, which isn't quite the Big Ten. But we did everything right. We defended well. We scored 3 good goals in the game. We put a full game together, offense, defense, and played really, really well. And then the opposite could be said for Nebraska. We didn't get things right against Nebraska. I think everything that could have gone wrong went wrong for us that day, and that's against the Big Ten champions. So we've got three games in a row. Western Michigan, MAC champions, NCAA tournament potentially this year. Nebraska Big Ten champions, and now we've got St. Louis coming up, who's the Atlantic 10 champions. So 3 big games all back to back to back, which is great preparation for us.
Coach, what do you think attributed to the large number of shots Nebraska got on?
Yeah, we didn't play well. As a coaching staff, we didn't get the game plan right. We probably felt we were a wee bit further ahead than what we were. We didn't get the defensive shape right. We got our tactics wrong. We got our system of play wrong. I think if I could do it all over again, I would have done it totally different. But these are the learning curves you have, in your first season with the team. And we were coming off of a big win, so I just felt we were doing really well. And then it was a little bit of a wake-up call for us on Monday that we weren't quite where we wanted to be. So, yeah, but we take full responsibility of that as a coaching staff, and we get out there Wednesday, Thursday, now to fix it, hopefully for Friday.
There's a big crowd on hand. How do you think the players responded just to that environment, being on the road in that kind of setting?
Yeah, I think it's great to get a women's soccer game with that many people. It's a fantastic opportunity for us to play in front of that crowd. It was hostile, it was noisy. Particularly when they scored, you couldn't even make a coaching point because the speakers were so loud you couldn't even get your points across to people. But I think it's fantastic preparation. Players will often say, it's there's pressure, and if we want to be a good team and we want to get to that level, we're going to have to play in front of crowds like that. So I'm a big believer in pressure's a privilege. This is why we've worked really, really hard to get to this point. That's what we want. We want more games like that to play in front of those kind of crowds, because obviously it means we're doing well. If we're playing with those types of teams and playing against that level of competition, it's going to be great for us in the long term. It's tough when you lose those games, but it will make us better.
Number 19, St. Louis comes into town for Oktoberfest. What kind of opportunity does that bring for the team?
There's no better rebound game than that, right? So an opportunity to rebound, an opportunity to get back home. I've heard amazing things about Oktoberfest, so I'm excited to finally play a game at Oktoberfest. That's going to be great. St. Louis is a fantastic team, going to be a very similar level to Nebraska. It's going to be a different kind of challenge. Nebraska was very direct and we're very, very good at it. And St. Louis will try and play a little bit. So it's going to be a very different kind of game. Nebraska's a very athletic team. St. Louis is a very athletic team. So it's going to be another really good test for us before we go into conference play.
You mentioned that you thought maybe you guys were just a little bit further along in the Nebraska game. Surface level, but is that a matter of just simplifying things, or what goes into that?
Yeah, it's back to basics again. Like, we didn't get the basics right against Nebraska. Little things like locking in on a goal kick, that we don't lock in and body up on a goal kick, and we don't win the header. They win the header and they break forward and score. And it's like those are the things that we can prevent. And I feel like against Nebraska we compounded errors. We had some good moments when we scored goals and we created a few chances, but you can't make one mistake become 2, become 3, become 4. And some of the goals they scored were 3 or 4 errors in a row that it's uncharacteristic of our group so far. We haven't had a game where we've made a lot of errors like we did against Nebraska. So maybe the occasion was a bit too soon. We didn't really rise to the occasion. So again, we all take a look at ourselves, we brush ourselves off and go again today at training.
Anything you can take from last year's matchups? Obviously, some different figures in place. You weren't here, but anything you can look at from that matchup against St. Louis that you can apply to Friday?
Just the fact that they comfortably beat us last season at their place. So I'm hoping the girls remember that and use that as a bit of motivation to come on out fired up. And what's interesting is I didn't realise this last week. We were actually ranked in the region for the first time in a while, and I hadn't realised that. St. Louis are number 2 in the region, and I believe we were number 6. So it's an opportunity to go against one of the best teams in the region, and if we can get a result, we're going to climb up the rankings and get ourselves to where we want to be, which is, we want to be competing to get in that top 25 and receiving votes. So these are games that we need to play, and these are games that we need to get results in. And I don't know how the team is getting ready for it, but we've got to look at it as an opportunity. These are opportunities for us to play good teams, and if we can perform on the night and we're at an 8 out of 10, I think we've got a good chance of getting something out of the game.
Anything else for Coach Walker?
How do you view the chance with like the next 2 just to get things right before you do start conference play? Do you use it as an opportunity as like, yes, we can build our resume, but also this is the chance to kind of iron out and find our identity before they really start counting in the standings? Like how do you view that?
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity. I look at it that way. Like say, if we have the season we're hoping to have, and we have the season where we do as well as we're capable of doing, if everything goes the right way, if you're in the top 4 in the conference, and if we can get into the top 4 this year, a win against St. Louis might just get you in that NCAA tournament. So that's why it's a big game. Beating Iowa State was a good result for us. Beating Western Michigan was a good result for us. Obviously losing to Nebraska hurts us. But if we can rebound with a result against St. Louis, I think Johnny said it earlier, when you get into October, November, you get a result in this one, it can certainly help you maybe get into the tournament. So we're excited about it. It's going to be a challenge, but we're capable of doing it. We're good enough on the day.
Anything else? Perfect, thank you.
Good. Thank you, guys.